and the
Amen.
words.
Amen.
We are live.
Yay! Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome. So, this is Carepreneurs Making the Digital Move. My name is Joycelyn. I'm one of many in a group of caregivers who all also own their own digital business. So, for those of you who may or may not know, I am a registered nurse here, originally from Ghana, and I have two boys. I'm a mom to two boys, and one of them is on the autism spectrum. And I have my own successful digital business, and we are a group of digital business entrepreneurs who happen to also be caregivers to someone in their family with special needs. So we all bonded together, and decided that, we'll form a group. We'll form a group, Carepreneurs,
Yeah.
and, educate the masses. So I'll let the other panelists introduce themselves, and then we'll tackle the topic at hand. So maybe Amma, you can go.
Thank you, Sis Joycelyn. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Got it in. How are you all doing? I think my wonderful co-host has said everything, so I'm just going to give a quick intro on who I am. My name is Amma, originally born in Ghana. That's where I was born, but I reside in the UK. I am a digital business owner and mentor, just like my other wonderful panelists, and I also work in the public sector. Why am I a carer? That's because I am a mum to a super fabulous young man who is on the autism spectrum and also has additional needs. And that's me. Enjoy the show. Nicole, your turn.
Because
Oh, hello, everyone. Aren't these women amazing? My name is Nicole, and I am from Australia, and I was born in Australia. Sorry, I didn't get the different opportunities to move overseas. And what about me? I'm a bit flustered today. I don't know what's going on. So I work for a disability service. So I help people like the amazing people in this live get the support they need in Australia and help coordinate their lives. It's called a lifestyle coordinator team lead. And I also have a son that has like a chronic pain condition, and which was quite debilitating for a lot of his life. So almost in a wheelchair, bedbound for quite a while, where he's doing quite okay at the moment, which is very nice to see. And yeah, we connected. I will just say that we connected because we automatically understood that life throws things at us.
Yeah.
And you can be going along on this trajectory and you think it's all cool, and then all of a sudden something gets a bit curly. And when you have a child that has a disability or a health condition, you just get it. And even like your closest friends or family that don't have that child with that condition, they just don't get it the same way as someone who has their own child with that. So this group is the world to me, and a huge thank you to Amma for pulling us all together all across the world.
Yes, thanks, Amma. So the topic at hand, which Nicole briefly touched on, because I want everybody experiences things differently, right? So I wanted us to go around and kind of talk a little bit about, like you both said, we are all professionals too. In addition to being mothers, in addition to being digital entrepreneurs, it's almost like we wear different hats, right? So the topic is, how do we balance everything? How do you balance the everyday life activities? How do you balance being a mom, a caregiver, a professional, social worker, whatever you are as a profession? How are you able to do that, juggle all that in addition to having your own digital business. So maybe Nicole, you can start.
Yeah. Basically, if I didn't do it, who would?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was a sole parent from when Declan was 3. And Declan was like, he didn't have his chronic pain condition until he hit high school. So, he was doing sport, playing AFL, running around, doing all those things, singing on TV, doing all these amazing things. And his life just then completely changed. Like automatically, one day it just went like that. And there's so many people out there that have had similar things happen. And basically, like, if I didn't do it, if I didn't bring money in to pay rent, if I didn't bring money in to pay for all the specialists and things, and like a lot of things, some things are covered in Australia, like your basic Medicare sort of things, but not all the specialists, not the medications, not all those things. So I needed income to explore and try and find out what was going on. Did my heart break every time I tried to put him to school, or had to leave him at home by himself, or all those things? Absolutely. But if I didn't do it, who would do it? Like, who would do it? And I think you think that when you get up in the middle of the night because something's happening, and, you might be screaming from pain or just not moving, or, like, basically you just have to. And I do get lots of people, even like where I'm working right now, it's like, I can't believe what you do. I can't believe you do the job you do, because it's a high pressure job. Plus you do your digital business, plus you do this and that, and you do a social life as well, because I have to find balance. So, and I like to schedule things. And some people think that might be a bit over the top, but I like to schedule things so that I know that I get to just suck the life out of life, like get some joy, because that gives me then the energy to keep going. If I just stay at home and don't see people and just close my world off, then I'm not in a good place. Then my mental health's not in a good place. And that's kind of why this business was like a lifesaver for me, because it just opened up the world much more for me. Yeah.
Amma, do you have anything to add?
I mean, I I think Nicole just said that sentence, if I didn't do it, who's going to do it, is so true. And that applies to not just us, but a lot of people out there. If you don't do it, who's going to do it? And trying to have that balance. I mean, I've learned as times, because I've made mistakes. I'm human. I am human. And I've also...
You're not human.
And I've also had the guilt trips, because as well, being the main provider, you have to go out there, bring back that bacon. And sometimes when I say it would be at the detriment of my son, it wasn't a case that his needs weren't met, he was ignored or anything else. But there was just, when I look back, there was times where there would have been battles, because you have to pick and choose your battles as a carer, regardless. There'll always be battles. And I got to the stage where I realized that I could not fight every single battle, because I'm just one person. And I had to pick and choose the battles that I did fight. And then, you reflect, and there was times where I would feel a little bit of guilt, thinking, well, if I wasn't out there earning, then I'd be able to do X, Y, Z. I would have been able to take on that battle. I would have been. But the reality of life, like you said, Nicole, is you have to find that balance. And when at the very beginning, because with Cam, my son, he was, your son, it happened later on, but Cam, it was like he was meeting all his milestones and everything else. And it was when he was like 3 onwards, I just seen, I saw him regressing, but I couldn't figure out why. So from that age, but I took everything on and tried to do everything in the beginning. Then I got to a point where I realized you can't. You have to pick your battles. You have to decide what ones you're going to take on and why. And then you also have to have some kind of structure, you know. And one of the things I don't know, with you, Joy, with you, Joycelyn, and I only just say that because your son is also on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Sometimes I kind of wonder about myself because it's a spectrum, and to have the diagnosis of autism here, it's like you have to meet three traits. And if you have, say, two out of the three, but you do certain things, they say persuasive or underlying. But sometimes I realize that I have certain things and I have to function. I can function properly when it's structured, just like you were saying about scheduling, Nicole. And that's how you kind of, for me, I kind of get through everyday life. And with this business, when I came across it, one of the things that I just wish I'd known about it earlier, because we're talking about, you know,
Yeah.
being mum, being carer, having our profession, doing this business. But the business in itself is not that difficult. And it's purely because you come in and you're coming into a community already. Everything's already set up. It's just plugging in. At the beginning, when you start, you have to spend much more time, granted. But once everything's up and running, it just runs in the background. So the business itself is not that difficult, but it's just dealing with like the everyday life. And I think we're quite seasoned now because you also mentioned about mental health. And I must
Yes.
admit, you ladies know, but a few months ago,
Sorry, I have a kitten that is trying to join us. Sorry,
that's
guys.
they know we're live, and that's typical with Zooms or lives. You'll get a pet that tries to, you know, photobomb the shoot. But I'm at a stage now in my life where it's focusing on mental health.
Yeah.
And you
Sure.
mentioned that, and it's so, so important because the reality is, even if you're not a carer, you know, if your mental health is not good, you can't give to others, whether
Yeah.
it's your family, whether it's your profession. So it's very, very important. And I would say that dealing with everyday life, it's about having that balancing act and deciding what is priority, what is not priority, what you're going to take on, and then just go with the flow. And the reason why I say flow is we know, ladies, you plan something, but it doesn't necessarily go that way.
Yeah.
So that would be my take on how I
Yeah.
manage everyday life.
All right. Welcome, Elena. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
All right,
So
ladies.
we are discussing how we are able to juggle our everyday life in addition to being caregivers, carers, and having a digital business. And I would say, listening to you ladies, man, every time you guys speak, it just brings memories, man. I
Mm.
remember when I saw this opportunity, I was one of the reasons why I actually started. I was thinking that once I set this up, right, once I get to a point where this is the only income I'm getting, it would even help me help my son. Like I
Yeah.
would be able to hire specialists, we would be able to travel because the whole goal was to retire early and spend quality time and make sure he can tolerate flying, tolerate ship, being on a cruise and doing all these other things that typical kids do without even batting an eye. But with us, you would have to get people to actually teach him how to because nothing comes naturally, right?
Yeah.
So it was one of the goals as well to make sure that he's well taken care of. And then once you come in, you realize this is a legacy living business. So God, if something were to happen to me, this is something that I could have somebody else take over to take care of him because I know that he's gonna be sound no matter what. So oh, that makes me emotional. But anyway, so how do you do it? Yeah, you do what you have to do. Like Alma said, it's really not that difficult. It's really not that hard with this business. In the beginning, of course, you have to spend a little time to set it up, just like everything else, learning. But once you set it up, it's a matter of organizing and knowing what you have to do, and because a lot of things run on automation, you really don't have to do much. Lana, what about you? What do you have to offer? I know you came in late, but it's about how you are able to juggle everything together in addition to being a digital business entrepreneur.
I honestly, I think the flexibility in the business has helped me a lot, and the fact that it's an online business, you can be anywhere in the world as long as you've got the internet and you've got your mobile phone, your laptop, you can do the business. It doesn't like my sweet ladies were speaking about. Um, it's something that you can do on the side, whether you're a carer, whether you are a full-time employee. It really doesn't matter what you're doing, as long you just have to have the passion and the will to succeed. Obviously, like anything, there will be ups and downs, but as long as you've got at the back of your mind that you know what your reasons are for joining the business community and doing the business, you can make it work. And for example, I've just come back with the kids from a 7-week holiday. Of course, it was meant to be 5. I was meant to come back 2 weeks earlier, but due to us challenges with food poisoning and so on, we came back 2 weeks. A few business inquiries. I've not got any adverts running, but just people that have previously been in touch who are now getting ready to start and wondering, where to start and, if it's the right move for them and things like that. So imagine the person was in South Africa and I was in Ghana.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
so this is the joys of, the benefits of the business. It's a global business. You just have to say to yourself, do you want to retire early? Do you want to have more time with your children? Have you got a backup plan? Like, what um, my other carers and friends were saying. Um, if you're saying yes to any of these questions, then you should just, come and take that 30-day risk-free trial period and just have a look for yourself. 210 or 217 odd K from around the world cannot be lying. We all started from somewhere. So just take a leap of faith. Don't try and work everything out at the beginning. Some things will come as and when you take that leap of faith, you will just ease yourself into it. And there is a community. This is one business where there is a community to hold your hand. You're not on your own.
Yeah.
So yeah, if carers can do it, you can. We have my child is non-verbal at the moment, although he started to say 1 or 2 words since we've been back from holiday, which was nice to see. Um, so yeah, if I can have, he's 10 and I've got another his younger sister as well. So I've got 2 children. So if I can do it and I don't, I'm single and I've also got ministry. I also help orphans. That was one of my drives for doing the business, to be able to cater for children who have no parents.
Yeah.
So no matter what your situation is or what your family life is, I believe you can fit this in. You just have to go for it. Sorry, I've been talking
That
too much.
that is wonderfully said. That is beautifully said. It's amazing what this business can do. It's so flexible. You can put it in your pocket and move along with it, right? So
Yeah.
maybe if Amma and Nicole, if you can each give us an advice, if somebody's watching and is in the same situation, or is just somebody who is a carer or a caregiver, or a professional, somebody who is busy and is looking for answers, what would you tell them? So maybe Nicole, you can start. What advice would you give anybody out there who is really, really looking for a solution and this might possibly help them? What would you tell them?
Yeah, so I would say, like, a lot of people are looking and there's a lot of things out there. And I think just try. Just take that leap of faith and just try. And like, we are like busy mums, professionals, and we schedule things when we can make it work. And like, I love the fact that like I can actually leverage information from other people, like so from you guys, like you learn from others.
Yeah.
And I think when you're starting something new and you're doing it yourself, it's a hard slog. But when there's a whole community and people that are so caring and want to see you succeed, like it's just so much easier. So my advice is take that leap. Like just come, as like Ileana said, like just give it a go, for like have a look for that 30 days and see, because the opportunity is there. And if you actually are brave enough, and I think specifically any carers of children with disability and health conditions, you are brave and you are warriors and you just know how to get stuff done.
Yeah.
So why not make it a successful digital business so that you end up making your life easier? So you do the hard work to start with, you learn, you do stuff, you ask questions, and then it's the high life for everyone. I love it. I love it. Sorry,
All
I've been
right, yeah, my same question for you. What advice would you give anyone out there?
I want to just kind of make this personal to carers. And when we came across this business, none of us ladies knew each other, but we all had the same vision, and we knew that this business would be just ideal for carers. And why we say that is we're all carers here. And one of the statistics, I don't know about you, Nicole and Joy, but in the UK, when I Googled when I first started this business about carers, and a lot of carers do end up in poverty, which is understandable. You know, when my son was going through the diagnosis process and he got his diagnosis, even though it was because my son's now entering adulthood, so we're going back years, finances did come into my mind. And it wasn't just finances in terms of me working, but it was finances in terms of him surviving when I'm no longer there. And finances has always been an issue. And there had been stages in my life where it was quite difficult, where I was thinking, do I just pack in work? Because like I said, it was just me. And there was things that it's a story for another day, but there was that crunch point. And for me, I couldn't do that. And I'm not decrying anyone who is on benefits or, you know, but sadly, as carers, you do lose income when that happens. Because like you said, Nicole, you know, when your son was in his teens, his disability happened. So it can just happen at the blink of an eye. And before you know it, you know, your finances are hit. But having this business, it can give you that solution with the fear of finances, but it can only happen with action. That is the reality of anything. And we understand that there are people there watching who would be skeptical, and some people may be thinking that, okay, they're just plugging this business. No, we're not plugging this business. We have found a solution that we just want to share with everyone and say there is an option out there where you don't have to worry about your finances. Come and have a look for yourself. Now, I would go through phases where I couldn't understand why people wouldn't even just come and have a look, when I don't think there's any business I've personally come across where you can actually come and have a look, get all the nitty gritty, the ins and the outs, and see everything. And if it's not for you, you just say bye, and there's no holds barred. I know that there's some that might be thinking, oh, 149, and some may not be able to pay that 149. This is, you can first watch the complimentary workshop, but then if you want to take the next step, there is a fee, one off of 149. And some people just can't afford it. That I fully understand. But for those who can, what I can't understand is 149 is just a drop in the ocean of what's going to happen. And people quickly will tie themselves to a contract, whether it's a phone contract of like £200, $200 per month. They will tie themselves to things like car finances, which they can't even afford. And that vehicle, the moment you drive it off the forecourt, depreciates. So I can never get my head around why people are just so reluctant to spend 149 that is fully refundable, not partially, but fully refundable within 30 days once you've got all the ins and the outs of the business and not decided that it's not for you. So all I can say to my fellow carers, and this isn't a business just for carers, but why I'm saying my fellow carers is we're all carers here and we get it, we understand, and finances is a big issue in carers' lives. You know, this may be a solution and you're looking it, staring it in the face. Nothing's happening, nothing's changing because you haven't taken the action. So all I can say is take the action. Nobody can do it for you.
Oh my goodness, that is beautiful. I talk to a lot of people, and my favorite saying is, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. You have to take the step. You have to take the step. It's okay to research and interview people and ask questions. But at the end of the day, nothing changes if you don't do anything. A year from now, you'll be exactly where you are, stressed out, still thinking of ways to make ends meet when you could have, had better alternatives if you had started. So I know that there's this fear that hold people back, but just know that how many people are here on this screen today? Four. And this is 4 out of over 200,000 members worldwide doing this business. It's not a scam. It's not a scam. We're showing our face, we're showing our stories. We are telling you because we are in the inside and we know what this business can do, transform lives, help you, make you feel, help you financially and everything. So check it out. Check it out. Reach out to any of us, and we will gladly give you all the answers to any question you may have. So, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Carepreneurs, making the move to digital, making the digital move. And we do this once a month, end of the month. So we'll see you again next month. But before that, if you have any questions, please reach out to any of us and we'll be more than happy to help you. So stay safe. And any last word, anyone?
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Stay blessed, stay safe.
Stay blessed.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.